Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do the usual disclaimers, before we get started, if you are new to this channel due to what you saw from Twitter, that word doesn't mean what you think it means, and you're wondering what in the world is the Judge Rotenberg Center and why does Tiffany have hundreds upon hundreds of videos on the subject, I highly advise please utilize the description box. In particular, please pull up Autistic Hoya's massive archive on this particular subject. It's going to have links to videos, blogs, ER documents, court documents, DESI reports. The receipts have receipts, so please go to that link in particular. Now we're shooting straight through this, folks, because we're cutting low on time and we do have to stream this evening, so we're going to shoot straight through it. In the description box, and by the way, allergies, I'm sorry in advance. See? In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much, they've threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill. Please read that article and share it on all your social media. Also included in there is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC actually sees through with their threat. Also included in there, the Ozark's first article in regards to the Agape boarding school situation, now known as Stone for Help boarding school, a so-called Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called troubled male teens, that has impending over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it. All of these have been substantiated by the Missouri Department of Social Services, and they include the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor still on the premises, with full access of the boys up on multiple substantiated claims of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault. The boys there. You have Attorney General too busy chasing after drag queens and trying and failing to defund public libraries to actually do his job. You got a governor who's completely off his nut. Send help. Read that article. Share it on all your social media. We have also included the link to this particular assessment done on the JRC back in 1999 by Dr. Fredda here, as well as Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject. Jennifer Masumba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002. If you're new to the subject, Google Andre McCollins Judge Rotenberg Center. But be prepared, because it is unabashed pure nightmare fuel. And the ever-present self-explanatory change.org shut the Judge Rotenberg Center petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you do got young children present, folks, please use your headphones. Trigger warning. This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and we speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised. All right. So where we went off last vid, sorry, allergies. Well, it was reported to this consultant by Dr. Blank that an FBA occurred Further inquiry into the strategies used to conduct such an assessment revealed little substance to this claim. They did the JRC's version of a functional assessment. You know what that is, don't you? It's a listing out of behaviors. They do that to benefit themselves because if they can overwhelm a parent by suggesting thousands and thousands of behaviors in order to get that $258,000 a pop per school year per parent, what you think they're going to do? Just saying. Dr. Blank reported that he did not use any specific instruments or techniques to conduct a functional behavioral assessment. He indicated that his reference to the results of an FBA were based simply on his observations of blank. Mother of God. Oh my. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Who wants to bet that she face palmed? Okay, poll on my comments. Did Dr. Fredda A, face palm, or B, head desk when she heard that from him? Because that's not how any of this works. Functional assessments are based on interaction. It's not observation. Was it Dr. Spiegel? Did Dr. Spiegel conduct this functional assessment? Because it kind of sounds like it, doesn't it? A functional assessment is, first of all, consensual, folks. All parties have to agree, in particular the one that the functional assessment is being done on. My functional assessment, both in school and as I got towards transition age, required my full participation. My own observations about my own behavior, them asking me constantly ad nauseum, why do I think that I'm having this particular type of behavior? And more importantly, what is occurring usually? What is a common factor that is usually occurring when these types of behaviors would happen? Crazy, right? Let's move on here. I inquired if these observations were any different from his usual observations of her behavior, and he responded that he observed her when she was by herself, when there were demands, and so on. Jesus Christ, dude, observation is not enough. His reference to these conditions, by herself, demands, etc., lead me to inquire if he actually conducted an analog assessment. These things aren't the same, folks. These things aren't the same. He indicated that he did not. An analog assessment or functional analysis is the most studied and scientifically documented functional assessment method, which involves experimental manipulation of antecedent and or consequence events that are hypothesized to control the problem behavior. Card 1994, Iwata 1982. The proposed behavior modification treatment plan, March 18, 1998, refers to functional analysis information as opposed to functional assessment. You see the difference? Info, assessment. These things are not the same, and one should complement the other. Not whatever weirdness the JRC calls a functional assessment. It is stated that this functional analysis was based on extensive observations, anticipated behavior consequence analysis. There we go. Yep, bastards. Touchette scatterplot a review of records and interviews with staff. Not the person. No, me the person who's having the behaviors I don't get talked to. Nobody cares about what I think may be causing the issue. We're going to rely on the staff. Does nobody see what's wrong with this here? Is it just me? As described above, a functional analysis analog assessment is an experimental manipulation of variables. The information that was reportedly collected does not fit the requirements of a functional analysis analog assessment. Dr. Blank indicated that he did not have any data related to the functional analysis or any type of functional behavioral assessment. Damn. Get him, Fredda. Get him. If a touche scatterplot was conducted, it would result in a graphic display of data. Dr. Blank reported to this consultant that there were no functional behavior assessment data. So you didn't even conduct one. Telling, isn't it? The information, data, and knowledge of the student that results from an FBA is used to shape the content of the behavior support plan or intervention. This comprehensive plan is developed not only to effectively address the individual's problem behaviors, but to enhance the present and future lifestyle of the individual. Horner, 1990. Kogel and Dunlap, 1996. Brown, Gothelf, Guess, and Lair, 1998. For example, increasing positive presence in school, social relationships with peers and adults, which means going out in the community, folks, not staying in the bad acid trip that is the JRC. Independence and self-determination. But you can't do that when you close off the kids from the rest of your world in your torture center / bad acid trip. Like Disney and the Wizard of Oz threw up. These type of objectives and goals are not addressed in X's behavior plan nor within her IEP. The quality of her IEP objectives will be discussed below. So basically, this individual did not do their homework. They based their plan off of nothing. Nothing. They got nothing. But punishment is going to save us all. We're going to close out on that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.